this 차단 this 시비나 아니 저런서 먼저 가르장기보다 가르장바디 수수메제나 펜도 가지고 되지 해나야고요. 그래서
So this morning I thought I will review and explain a bit more about what we have been learning about the Eightfold Noble Paths. And I'll talk a bit more about them and then how they are relevant to day-to-day practical living.
다든데 디 두스레 나 팔라엔라 제스 라비온데 낭바 낭베기 추 다 저런서 몽부지 하고 그래 단다 테러와다 시기도 저런서 근데 둘로 세고 건데 이제 너 리지몬다 도와
No.
어디서 먼저 또 맞는데 진주에서 팔라엔라 제셰디 다시 먼저 초 미지당기 초에나기 자단다 아니 남바산지에 추다 태과 니치로 팅메다 틱진스로 다 팅메세야디 아니 라니직보기 지도 라니직보 타와 시와되야 지도 아니 람공부요레 되게 엔달라 아니 팔라연라게 기지시기요레스로
So in Buddhism, there are two systems. Most people may know about them or heard of them. They are called the Theravada system or the system of the elders, and the other one is called the Bodhisattva system. So Theravada system is Buddhism, kind of Buddhism practice in places like Thailand and so on. We can see 7 robe-clad monks in town, so they practice Theravada system, and so their aim is to practice the system meticulously in order to achieve the state of freedom from suffering in samsara for their own sake.
다든다 먼저 제디 태과 첨보로 태과 첨보에 최난라다 라니지고 많이 말씀지 탐제에게 대둘러 상나단제 최냠는 지역에 아니 렘바데라 태과 첨보시에 되게 단다 팔라연라제 기지시에디 다야 찬신 파과로 람라 양타고 양타베 nga 양타베 레지 타사 두수 상마다 베나 단당한조 기진 양타베 첨보로지 양타베 다 양타베 나로 실게지 쉐비너와 야 똑과 야 찬신 파골랩사나 계저 포지티브 장장다 네거티브 춘 시기와 말다 로 양도베 계저 상마베 최단 템바 밀러 팬도 요바 장장미시 지기 밀러 뉴트에로 최단 미팅바로 미마지버세로 지조 두두 다야로도 미 경고야서로데 전 지게 계저 나 계저 된데지 요 말다 계절 상마배 가서 그래. 팬도 인연지 계절냐 시고로 어딘데라 내제지 야래도 어딘데 차도 여러 양답에 가서데 탭다 야데지 똑바로 통볼낸 적이 양답에 가서데 다 팔라연라 제서데 찬신 파괴 주지다 연대 시기요레스로.
Then the second form of Buddhism or system is called the Mahayana system or the Great Vehicle system, and entire Buddhist practice is done in order to reach the state of a full enlightenment of the Buddha, in order to come back to the world in different forms to help sentient beings and other people on the path to permanent freedom from suffering. So there too, the Eightfold Noble Path is practiced by Mahayana practitioners who are called Bodhisattvas. So there are different levels of Bodhisattva. The Eightfold Noble Path is a body of practice done by what is called transcendent transcendent bodhisattvas or Mahayana Aryas. The first of which is right speech, for example. Right speech, once they reach that level of spiritual attainment, whatever they do is always uh, mindful of what they do, what they say, so that they do not upset other people's feelings and speak. They never say anything to disrupt harmony in society or to create schism, division among people and so on. So they are always mindful of what they say, what they think, what they do. Therefore, they name Eightfold Noble Paths.
다제나 디 낭백의 최대 예창마 간다는 저기 수수 셈 교다야로 추다 가리나 창마 셈 교다야게 탑랑자장 시고레스로 단도 좀 된데 성어다 디버지암이 지지 교부선 소거지 랑게 신의 용선 되는 산제 된바인 송도로 다 디버 단다도도 디 낭백 최의 랍제라고디 디버스는 다 밀은 너바 지조를 너바 tundu를 너바 딜레가 되다 뭐다 유카네나 되지 요 말했다 로 다 가르치고 그래서나 미신다라 펜도여니 지조라 펜도여니 쿠육라 펜도여니 아니직 tundu라 펜도여니 어딘데 제베이나 데이터 겨와디 최다 문에 되레스 다 디자와디니 셈 투고스 셈디 시워서야 되레 셈 시워디다 최문에 되레스다 어디셔라다 되레다 ton도도도 디 그런서 하고나 되레스다.
So, the practice of Eightfold Noble Path is an expression of what Buddha has said. To put it in a stanza, Buddha says, commit no evil deeds or harmful deeds. Accomplish all positive actions of body, spirit, all positive virtues or positive actions. Subsequently, tame your mind or subdue wild thoughts. That is teaching of the Buddha. So the teaching of the Buddha is to bring about inner change. When it says, do not harm, do not commit evil deeds, so that means do not harm, do not perform actions that have harmful implications on society, environment, people, and even animals. Conversely, perform virtues so that whatever you do contributes to the well-being of society as a whole, to the environment, individually and including animals. In this, if you avoid consciously performing non-virtuous, unwholesome actions and perform virtues, subsequently it will bring about a change of mind.
지상다 낭배추 세야지 가래라나 심 주어다리 랍샤나 주어디 디부르다 랜디 디부.
So if somebody says, what is Buddhism? Then if you answered, it is to bring about change of mind. That is the fitting answer you could give.
다 심 주어 직 당고요 그래서 요마다마시 단단한자데 되니 단단한서 지게지세다 내가 지다 아니 삼노단다 디기다 기부 연구도나 디지 연구도나 아니 요당 말에 다가랑 밑에는 러시아는 디그레스로
네.
디 기부다 디게 가서 메제 지도나라 스스 기부 스스 지도 스스 파마 빈제 기부 스스 토고 토모 기부 상마 기부 서도고도나 데 요당 말에 아니 다가랑 로르스 밑에지 로르스로.
So Buddha calls on his followers to bring about change their mindset, and the mindset will lead to change in lifestyle and then resulting experiences. So he calls on his followers to have a change of mindset and change from the. However, if the uh, if the status quo works and is making you happy, then there's no need to change. However, what we think, uh, it, what we think and what we take for granted as being the norm, in fact, is not the right way as seen by the Buddha.
당저 다디 저디 되지 단도 삼단단디 다 유매워데 세우라 로야
So, although things seem to be going well, when we look at a deeper level, or a bit more deeply, beneath the veneer of normalcy, thing all is not actually well.
그래서 나다 저런저 디제디다 오벤만드로 미싱 쿠양모 제 사제데 레브레스로 저런저 레세 사제데 노리오 말했다.
So the fact that you are here shows you are open-minded, and therefore the place you have come to is not the wrong place.
다 이내 세세시월로 저런저 낭바치야라 남다 제고 말했어. 이 대유나 낭바 람산 차야 차고 말했어. 낭바 차야라 그런 차지 먹고 요랬어. 다 대유네 낭베 간저 내주전에 롭존레야 먹고 요랬어. 딜렌 요랬어. 딜렌도나 캡산랬다.
So you are here to listen to the Buddhist talk. Not that you could become Buddhist. There's no way anybody can become Buddhist just because they have listened to some talks here and there. A lot of conditions need to be met before somebody can really become a Buddhist and commit to being a Buddhist. However, Buddhist message takes on a non-religious message, a secular, which has a secular meaning. Therefore, there's a lot one can learn that could be applied to one's life.
다 말아서 기생의 마디 럽다나나 뭐라 하이스쿨에 라인에서 모든 에듀케이션 거래에서 만들어라. 모든 딩두게 럽좀 거래스. 딩두 럽좀 찍고게 아주 메제나라 당게 말했어. 갈고르라서나 딩두 럽좀 나라 닝지요 말에 참바요 말에 수림 시에가 말에 서바 시에가 말에 준주 시에가 말에 딩인진 시에가 말에 참바녀제 시에가 말에 요 말에 럽젠디게 요 말에서 디제딩 아주 메제나는 고고여서 또 디제레서 고고 디제 고고여서 디 베샤디 차시 춘주지레서 와 베샤디 르초야 지고레 메시지 베샤디 그 심초도 말했어 와 심라 심기 칼라라고디 다 디제 고고여서 와 참바단 세와다 닝지다 쇠센다 동다지 딩인진다 네지 참바다 다 짐바츠도 세와디 저기 릭도zo 먼저 심기 칼라레서 와 베샤데게 칼라 작번이제 류서야게 칼라랑 아주 칼라 니고 요레스다 쳐야라 찍미지라고 말해서 모든 에듀케이션에
I was talking to the students at Mojueka High School, and I said to them that we do indeed need modern education. However, modern education alone is not enough to live a satisfying, a meaningful life, a life that is a purpose for oneself and for others. And on top of modern education, which teaches and imparts different skills and different knowledge, we need something else to complement modern education, and therefore the food for thought to bring about inner change that has positive, meaningful impact on life is love, compassion, concentration, mindfulness, generosity, ethics, patience, and kind of a knowledge that understands reality that lies beneath the surface reality. So modern education indeed equips people with the skills to find employment and then job and money. Money alone is not enough to bring to experience genuine happiness. Money only feeds the body with the resources it can buy, but we need something else to feed what is more powerful in us, which is our mind. So the food for thought really is found in spiritual values, which are just mentioned, and which we should not take as having religious connotations. They are applicable to all beings.
세상다 팔랑이라 제디 먼저 총어가 케야라 보다 편도 비첨보여 그래서
So, coming back to the topic of Eightfold Noble Path has a direct relevance to daily life.
다 당보 지정에만 먼저 양다베 레지타 양다베 초 양다베 띵인지 다디제디 도사레스와 네 양다베 템바 다 두zu 계지시고 그러셔다 다 단당 알아서 니마 드리네 고조제 네 수수 계자 직 단다 면조드제 시에 용으로 땅으로 단다 요거든데 밀라 펜도 요가 수술라 펜도 요에 계자든데 망지 시에 단다圈的 매베 계자다 미심 주야서 미 컨트롤하야서 계자도서 용지 시에 다 총어나라 다 두종 안지 지도구라 알아 두종 안지 니마 드리네 고조네 치토그레스 데도 도시 다 계지시단디 나오던데스 다 전바 샤제 디가나네 네 계지디 셰나 밀라뉴도 데셰나 팽그도 데셰나 데네 도시게나 갈래 야르게 단제 어두스 용고레스로 당부데.
So up to now we have covered of Eightfold Noble Path. We have covered right speech, right action, right livelihood, right concentration, and right mindfulness. So mindfulness is key to focus performance of a task, and that brings about positive outcome. So with the mindfulness, then we can use right mindfulness in order to practice right speech, such that from now on we can become more mindful of what you say, how you say to other people, to whom, such that one's speech is not misunderstood or is not provocative and is not divisive, not incisive, but meaningful, to the point, calm and soft.
어디로와 다드네 드린 다 양다베 띵인진다 양다베 템바다 도도레로와 다디 양자지 곰 드린 곰 디식 잡샤나 다 띵인진스나 템바템 붙여야 되레로 다 템바템 붙여야 되라 아주 곰 잡지 속으로면 쉬지게 맹강로도네 템바템 붙여야 요 말이로 맹강로도나 딩두게 맨데 템바템 매우 수고도 로가레다.
So the fourth mindfulness of concentration, and the fifth is right mindfulness. So concentration and mindfulness, although they are counted separately, they are related. And in order to develop concentration, that is focused attention to a task or to a thing to be done, we need the tool of attention or it's called mindfulness. It, so mindfulness, which is key to developing single-pointed attention or single-pointed concentration, we have to practice meditation. We cultivate that through the power of meditation. Repeated meditation will help. Uh, Mindfulness cannot be achieved by going to the hospital, because if you go to the hospital, you may go there, but when you go there, it will give you some injection and your mindfulness is altered. You go back home with a different form of mindset.
디 누구도 와 계산 캐님바 디 야마게 자메디 인스턴트 사르다 디 메지도
No.
다 계산다 도와 기계저셰인데 조작하셔라 삼로 팅마니 숨단에 미시 가셔 말해 봐라도 디 맹간을 친기 멤버네스 냠바 데레샤즈다
So I've been suffering from hay fever lately, badly, a bad case, and therefore I went to Mengal Pervel.
맨딘 유에브라
Along. So I went a medication called Claritine, is it? And I took it, and it fixed me instantly. But now I have become somewhat less mindful, and so much so that when I was here talking, I had to pay extra attention to what I had to say, and things were not coming swiftly as normally. So Claritine, which fixed my physical condition, has altered my mind.
다 제가 다 멘분에서 요대 매우스로 지거든
So whatever little mindfulness I had was nearly robbed of me.
이나 다 믹더 사브레자군도 나국 전부 더스라 데라 데워르시도 심디야 태워서셔서 그 내가 태워
So I feel quite okay now with my eyes, my nose, and so on, but not here.
아, 다 당선님도 곰지자로 다 곰지자고스라 전부 템버서로 곰자고로 다 곰자고레스 전한세 갈라 드링갈라로 제고 도 곰자제
So let's do meditation to cultivate mindfulness and then enhance the power of mindfulness. So please do a quality meditation and help me restore my mindfulness.
다 당고 군론자 군론로 다 군론데 드링기 내가서 룽하게 자와카 제가 든지 심지신을 편법하식 지기 세제 군론야고 직제 쇼스로
So let's start meditation with a sound intention or motivation, and think to yourself, whatever I do today, it will only be to help other sentient beings. So please arouse such an intention.
다 담자세 디링 내가 없어 강에 가르쳐난 게 삼바 상보디 그뒤나 더금에 상 담자세.
So now could you generate a resolve that no matter what difficulties you face today, you'll never part with this intention to be of benefit to others.
어다 가오금 당아 드려게 삼바 누가 첨보지 여 tingana 셈디 누가 배 첨보지 여 가오금 그랬어.
Next, please arouse a sense of great joy over the fact that there's a new mindset, a precious mindset that is a source of good of, for others, and feel how happy one is about that.
다 미니 exercise인데로 미니 exercise디 우링지 나군이네 주 당시에 받체로 아니 파 당시에 받체 우링보지 주 당게가 파도 외워데 시에베체는 디요레스.
So now I'd like you to do a short breathing exercise and be mindful of deep inhalation and deep exhalation. So breathe in deeply and be aware of that deep inhalation, and then exhale deeply and be aware of it.
다 욱퉁어시 다양한데라 하고시 다나 욱퉁둥지 파당 욱퉁어시 수당 시어시.
Now move on to doing the same thing, but inhaling and exhaling briefly, and then be aware of the shorter inhalation and exhalation.
근데 장가자 당이 욱퉁었던 장가자 파당 수당 직니숨 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 제우 숨접 숨제우 숨사스는 아니 참샤 아니 다다와야 심 다다와 심시와 심대와 심발 흘려시다 아니 대간의 심샤 이데스템 되고.
So now, what I'd like you to do is count uh, three sets of three cycles of inhalation and exhalation. So short inhalation and exhalation, 1, 2, 3, and like this way, count it up to 3 times, and then repeat 2 more times. At the end of the third round, uh, then remain still in the mind that is present at that very moment, a quiet, calm, still mind. So now could you do that, please?
다yan 자 타가 nga chik ni sum shi nga che sum je yang de cha ba ta ga yang sam ba shi wa de ga na sin ta da de ga sha ha ko ba shi de
Now, could you increase the number of cycles? So please count this inhalation and exhalation numbers up to 5. Breathe in, breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, and repeat it 3 times. At the end of the final round, then see what the mind is like, and it should be relatively still, relaxed, calm, and blissful, and then try to dwell in it.
아야 다 저런 데 데스 르르시 데셔스 강바 때문 나거든 강바 파지 장 르르시 로 뭐 차고 말해 개 말해 강바 나거든 장스 chen 디그리세 안 되는데 동자 마시세 야 돌아요
Now please sit relax, and if you need to stretch, please do stretch your legs forward a little bit, but be mindful that you don't hit before you.
아니 암전이다 계지 모르더라
And then I'll begin my talk and try to listen.
당저 네 저는 당저 mindfulness 라들와 다 양답에 참바데 또 뒤에 그런저 등산 쉬우지 다르고요. 다나 양답에 참발라데 가르에스 라비오나 다들 고롱 전에 양답에 차려야지 뭐 그런 미국 전에 양답에 차려야지 어떤 데지 요레스 다 간다로
So right mindfulness, and it's a very now mindfulness practice has become a common or rather mainstream practice for relaxation. And how is mainstream mindfulness different from, or rather, how is right mindfulness different from the common mainstream mindfulness. There are two things that determine this. One is intention in this practice, and the other is the object which the mind is mindful about.
다 당고디 굴론네로 네 단다 곰자디 아니 수수 만화도 많잖아 네 스트레스 당에 anxiety 당에 depression 매우서지 디 곰자고로
나래.
다디 문에디 mindfulness 잖아 네 곰자디 미신들 펜도 야시니 스캬고르다로
So a lot of people who practice mindfulness, they practice mindfulness to reduce stress, my anxiety. So there's a lot of focus on I, me, on an individual, whereas right mindfulness is practice with a view to permeating goodness to others through one's practice of being a focused person.
배진 디레다 삼로디 가져 자침바이나 미딜라 스트레스 당 anxiety 당 depression 용어요. 삼로 가져 부수터 보여버리나 아니 뒤망아요. 아니 loneliness 리거 미 삼로 가져 고양 보여나 조금 망아요. 조금 망아요나 스트레스 용어요. anxiety 용어요. 배진 depression 리그 말해라. 조봉원에 조보들다 따라와. 배샤가 조보다 칼러가 조보다 좀 말다야.
So, 그래서 그건 성질은 좀 봤으나.
신변게 신라 편도셔위나 신게 디둘라 삼나다나 미딜라 조망아요. 조망아나 아니 상관 용어 라슈게 도로라다.
나래. So, when right mindfulness is practiced, it is done for the good of others, and therefore they are able to handle greater workload with no stress or minimum stress. And as a result, they are able to make friends with more people and get on well with more people. Whereas if one doesn't have that kind of degree of mindfulness, then one becomes quite individualistic and myopic in one's perspective, and one is not able to relate well with other people, and this leads to isolation, loneliness. And if one, on the other hand, if one is able to have right mindfulness, to be able to relate well at all times with other people, one will gain more friends, not just fair weather friends, but genuine friends.
No money friend.
So you will get genuine friends, not wallet friends. So somebody who cultivates friendship of a person with beautiful lustrous face, when the face loses the luster, friendship will end. So quite fleeting and not reliable.
지금 딩네 저와 연예 배절라 강의 수술라 강의 되러 watch니 배절라 수술도 강의 되러 watch니 시던데 조공원 애들이로 조공원 애들 강의 되러 watch니데 조공원 애들이 강의 입에 가라 강의 태웠으니데 조공 말해다.
So a true friend is somebody who is there, as you know, for you in difficult times or hard times, and that friend becomes tested. A friend, through thick and thin, you can count on them, whereas a friend who aggravates your your problem is not a genuine friend.
제가 다디 굴롱 차네 니 첨바 양다 차단 직디 굴롱데다 네 곰자데 신라 편도 양아시 들어와 베나 로와 베나 수수 베나 다 나란주 잘 전환주 상매가 능미 여러와 하고 그러와 전환주 능미 당 족보다 딘데 빈자 여래다 뜨줄라 강이 가져 여바디 전환주 통구 여래와 산 상마 통구 여래 아니 베데 비지 체제데 아니 삼바 수수 삼바 흘려서야 돼 신기요 말해 다 비지디 석세스 인팅 거다 건드려 아니 배샤스 안 폴론네 아니 남다 첼레가 비지로 데델라다 가르쳐 그래 요 말아 가르쳐 그래 수수 삼바 수수 셔서야게 콘솔라 탑랑 요 말해 다 전환서 델립데디 칼레스 군론데 심베체 올라나 단다 전환서 데 곰자야딩에 나란서 나다 단데 대와이베 미티젤라 팬도 여직 지야지디 나란게 맨포네스 디 약보지 서제 삼바 템보직다 템바 템보직다 심자와 여지 서제네 콘솔라야다 팬도 치도 지기서 되스르다 데려와 군론 체단 데레 tuk's jumzen des ligio resro.
So right mindfulness differs from common mindfulness due to intention. As said before, common mindfulness has become quite personal, individualistic in focus, whereas a right mindfulness is supposed to be practice meditation so that you become source of well-being and good to people around you. So we are all here, and we know our family, we know our friends, and they are all is not well with them. They are busy, and they're working really hard, and they don't have much free time. And now they become they are frantically busy, and frantic busyness is taken as a sign of success, and therefore they become more busy or busier, and they become busy. Geshe-la says like busy bees, and then taking on more loans, and then building up more stress, and so this is how life seemingly goes busily for them and building up stress, and they don't know how to deal with, how to calm down, have some space to have a quality calm experience. So you are here to learn, practice the meditation or the art of breathing meditation and so on. So you are here, and your motivation should be to develop a mind that remains calm in difficult situations, and a calm mind that's not just calm for personal good, a calm mind that is filled with understanding of others and having empathy and compassion for others. So we practice right mindfulness through meditation to be such a person.
어디지? 다 굴롱신이지. 다 오미바디 다지다 미다와 라미바 동반이라 미바 그래서 시거 다 단다까지 닝제다 참바 참바라 닝제 민나데 그래 참바 민나데 그래로 다 참발라 민나 야고도 와다래로 참발라 믹샤나 미바 트레 간주 참발라 미바 체나로
So mikpa means right mindfulness. Now focuses on different Buddhist training topics. For example, on impermanence, what is called Buddhist notion of ultimate reality called emptiness, as well as it it can be directed towards focusing on love, compassion, and affection. So, let's now direct our mindfulness on love for all.
다디 줌젠디 데린 줌젠디 가르잖아 투주이나 네 심지 미션라 랍치야디 가고 참바치야디 말라 참보용야 치디로 와다 줌젠 수수 치고라 봐 봐 하나데 네전데 잼제가 영화데 인지 시그널 I love you 사디 겹라 you love me 사디 리그도라 거기도스데
So normally when we practice love or have love, there is people love because they expect to be loved. So for me, when people say I love you, behind that is you should love me.
제가 다디 용거야마 디 용도 쓰고다 디 용도 쉬우도다
So that creates issues.
디 지금 고연되네 셰야다 지금 I love you love 디 셰나제로
So when somebody says I love you, it should be a warning. And what they're saying is, what they're expecting is that you love them, and they're expecting you love.
다스 가기면은 나 칸데스 가고라더라
So when somebody says I love you and then expecting that you love them, how can you really love when you don't like them?
디 갈레로 하다 가기면은 다 가기 요 라고 주나 갈레로 하다
And it is stress to have to say that I love that you like them, I love you when you can't genuinely do it.
은혜라다 디저란서 냠녀요 가 냠녀 예스디
I'm sure you have had this experience, and I do too.
아유 되게 말랑다 제가 다 신김진 챤네 뭐네 참바잖아 다디야고요래 와 신김진 챤 참바 디게고요 다단단한데 참바진이 상와데 라주제 마제베지 신김진 챤 참바지기나 참바디 로 닝제다 참바장기나 다디 배편도 누워 참바레스라
So when we cultivate love and love with others as a reason for love, in other words, when we cultivate love purely for the good of others, that is genuine love because it doesn't expect anything in return.
다들라 줌제 가르삼당 올라나 다미 수수 다 담고 고두사데 수수 니마타와 더여서들로 파마이나레 토고이나레 레갈레로이나레다 칠레 니미디다 디게 좀 쇼레도 텔레야다 수수 심게 가기도 뭐네 집에 저어디 리그도에 비저 대화된데 글로지 리그도에로 따고로다 하디 말레드다 딜레야기 직 소그라 줌제지단에 삼 소그라다
So in order to develop genuine love for all, you start practicing this, directing your attention to what you know, to what you call the loved ones, people are in the immediate family or your friends, and what do these people who you really love long for, and they long for lasting, genuine happiness. And if they don't have that, then because of your mutual affection for each other, it becomes quite easy for one to want to bestow or help them, bestow happiness or make them happy.
당에 줌제숨 아드니 줌제숨 줌제 숨당 아니 탈람직 줌제 숨 탈람직라고
So I'm going to give you 3 reasons and 1 method.
다 줌제 당보도 가래서나 아니 먼저 상마 도미 버직 버렸어. 데 줌제로 왔다. 먼저 미 버직 버렸어.
So I give 3 reasons to be able to cultivate love for all, not just loved ones in the immediate family. First reason, we are all humans.
다 수보게 재단에 직벌에 하는 좀 미로와 아니 쌤네 삼노단단나 다 직벌직 양로와 제가 아니 대직벌해도 다 내단 대찬에 가서 직벌해도 겨민도 하러와
In this case, as being humans, physically we have a human body, and mentally we are bestowed with a higher cognitive faculty, and we think alike most of the time. So in this regard, there's no difference between self as a human and all other humans.
다 딩은에 대 삼로디 양세 땅고 다 대 땅뇽게 냠nen도 실리고요로와 하는 상모 땅뇽레스 직벌했어야 돼. 대 땅뇽 냠nen나 리고요로다.
So the first reason that we are same because we are humans helps develop a Buddhist practice, rather helps develop what is called tangyum, even-mindedness or sense of equanimity between self and others.
다 줌제니와 대 데레 대화대 동해미 되어 임마지 와라 나랑 대화되고도와 나 동해 되면도와 대난신 심지 신다도서 대화대 동해미 되어 임바데 직부직야 대 줌제데 직부 차송하다.
The second reason is all others and I are the same. We all invariably we all long to be happy, and we long for freedom from distress and problem, and on this score there is no iota of difference.
다 줌제 숨바데 가래라나 나난저 수수 메제나라 가슈치세요로
No.
그냥 아이나 당하는 그 아말라 가슈치고요. 그냥 아자라 가슈치고라다.
No.
다 가르치는 게 가고 치고래라 줌제. 가르스나 데 아말 아맹알 참조치고도 아맹알 펜도치고도 줌제들에도
No.
디인자 다 심지 탐제 직벌에 다 펜도 제요. 당하나 펜도요를 참조제요를 최선 줌제 대찬에 심지 탐제 나랑 그 세대기 가수수 가슈치세 미데다 직벌했어. 줌제 찬에 펜도버디 참조제버 직벌했어. 들어와다.
The third reason is all others that I tend to think are unrelated to me are the same as someone that you love most. For me, the person I have loved most is my mother or my sister. And so why do I feel that close to them as opposed to others? That is because they have loved me. I didn't ask them to love me. They simply unconditionally have loved me. And therefore, I can't help feeling close to them and feeling their affection and and experiencing their genuine warmth. Now, in the same way, all other sentient beings, all other people, if we think deeply, more deeply, have done the same good for me, and I have received so many, or rather so much benefit from all quarters of all people and all beings. So if I think carefully, I see no difference in the benefit and love and care that I've received from my immediate loved one, in this case my mother, and the immense benefit, a greater benefit that I receive from so many other sources. So everything that we have for God in life, for survival, for growth, and so on, is necessarily other source, and therefore, the others that I feel somewhat indifferent now are exactly the same as my loved ones.
다 딜라 수수 겨왕아지 이지유나 편도신 바래로.
So here, if one has the belief, if one has, or rather, if one believes in uh, reincarnation, it will also boost this practice.
지당 내가 다 지당 다 지도고랑 겨왕아지 켈레니 낭미지 나가 제브래로. 디편도도 근데 내가 롭좀 망고체니 김진 삼당 릭베 땡라 팜네 겨왕아지 요와데 하고 아니 가시다 뇨에 덤니로 뇨에다 가시 겨왕아지 테니인데 겨왕아지 테니 미딘데 가 투버다 도라 제자한테 겨왕아지라 자담방하다 이지여로 봐. 뒤 예배 인상 아니 셈나래 미나래 둔도이나 가래이나 아직 딩아 그 참준 할레브 진요여로 스페나가 딩앙바스미여로
네.
딩아랑게 파마라고 진지 다 툭송사 파 가고 제보다 컨저지 가오를 쉬비치기도 앙바디 얘기 가오 쉬비 이제 쉬비치기로 앙바디 얘기 아니 지우드데 칼라데 되거라 아니 많이 다한테 삼르데 당게다 지우드니까 직전에 그랜마다라고도 도와대 되기래 지우가시 계산 지우지 강변날라 용 샤부지 대스고 그 년바대 저버디스 디스탄시하면 그 샤부지 샤난 데 지우지.
So if you are able to have belief in rebirths, reincarnation, and this will help in this. For me, I do believe in reincarnation. Firstly, I was born in a society where great majority of people take rebirth as take for granted. Secondly, I have gone through intensive Buddhist training, epistemology, logic, philosophy, where existence of rebirth is brought home with the cogent logic and reasoning, and in the face of those reasoning, you can't refute, rather deny rebirth. As well as I have met people who remembers their rebirth. So all these really helped me comfortably that there is, and they believe that there is former rebirths, and therefore, whenever we see people, they are the people with whom one has had positive nurturing relationship in the past, from whom one has received so much benefit. They have loved you unconditionally. I have some pets at the center. I have three ducks and three ducklings, a duck and the three ducklings, and some birds. And when I see them as people that I have separated from the past, and when I parted from them, I felt the pang of separation and wish that I could meet them. So, although not in the form of people, that I feel they are the people, they are the beings with whom I have had positive relationship, now in the form of these ducks and so on. For example, I have some birds, and the one bird stayed in my bedroom for one day, and I had no problem with that, and except for those little droppings here and there.
Need killing 아유, 어딘데라. 제가 지우지 투고에는 심난라. 직 스스로게 직 그런 바렌드도 도와지대 요로 파마도 도와 유에 초지 픽직스나 인식으로 하고 그래서 심난라지 가오르지 레모도 알아.
So I see a bird, I feel close to the bird. I see any animal, I still feel close because I think to myself, they could well be my great grandfather now in the form of bird. So just coming back to meet me, and so uh, I immediately feel close to them.
다음도 곰데스 자게나 곰데스 경에 그런도 곰자게 이제 생에 만들라고 좀전 숨데 곰지가 안에 네 탑람 타마데 곰지갑데 다 곰데스 지갑샤나 안에 야고 요레스라.
So now let me have you do guided meditation. I will describe, you keep doing. At the end of, I will go through the three reasonings, and at the end, then I will have tablam or the result or the outcome.
나 당모들 비디 exercise 장anga 시잡아서 우리스 단데 슬르서 오르스.
So first, could you do breathing exercise, the inhalation deeply and out deeply, up to 5 times.
아야다 수수 메제나 단데 내가블라 수수 심나라 강에 치슈 토마주니 아 나미디 미가셰도 나미디 투고 미미들 깨지시 미세도
Okay.
어디 딘데에는 전한다 다리 곰자들 럭기리스다.
So first of all, I'd like you to visualize before you the presence of somebody that you really can't stand, and somebody who simply can't stand. And I'd like you to visualize him before you. And if you have such a person, you are very lucky now. You have something to focus your mind on.
다 미디라 참바 공부를 와딱 대화된 로시나 대화된 되게 참바로 와 다디 디게 좀 로시나 딜라 기부 좀 로시나 삼베 셈게 참바지 연구도 오면도 따다로 와.
So then see whether you are able to have a warm feelings toward the person who, like your loved ones, also wishes to be happy and to have happiness.
다디 람산 레기 마로 와. 람산 레기 마레 다 대당 아니 찍버래 아당으로 와. 미디당 아니 찍버래 미마 찍버래 와.
So
상당
it'll be difficult to have a love for the person. Now try to bring in or develop love by using the first reason. He or they and I are the same. We are the same. Why? We are both humans.
수부두단 찍버래 난 이모션 찍버래 상마 찍버래도 왔어.
Physiologically the same, emotionally, psychologically the same.
다디네 김제니바데 하디 수수 대화 대화단 동해메 대화 나시오 데 미디에 대화 대화 동해메 대화데 찍버려 봤어.
Move on to the second reason. This person, like me, wishes to be happy and wishes to be free from suffering. Therefore, they and I are the same.
다 이제 김지 숨바디 다 야고요래. 김지 숨바디 페이지 내가 지그래. 다 뒤에 편도 가르쳐 이미 삼다로. 알라 편 가르쳐 이미 삼다.
So the third, now move on to the third one, and so now check out what has he done, what have they done to help you, what benefit have they done.
다 저랑도 신다미 지 배샤로 단 칼라데버로 둘로데버로 단 참잠들어 제버로 근데 편도 제유나 두두다다 야고 튕기로 다 신다 김제 신다 요레스 탄다로 편도에 엘레 저왕아지 계제 마시 치다가란 탄다란 편도 같이 요레스.
So there are people in your life who have been good to you, and they have taken you out for dinner, went for a walk. You have the same likes and dislikes. You get on well, and therefore they have been kind to you, and there are such people. But there is more that they have done than just what I've just counted.
당에 라고로 가르편도스나 당보들라 미디 칠레야 직녀스 보스 제 돌란 자리 잡체지 보링 차지 아무래 편도도.
So first, when you the first benefit this person who you can't stand brings to you is they never bore you. Why? Because you're always engaged in a hot argument, heated argument, debate, and therefore you are active at all the time.
정말 찍제. 난 이거데 되게 티데 찍찍 계절을 셔찍 레그도 찍 레몬드 랍데 론리네스 요하면도 하다.
And when they're there around you almost all the time, and then having to justify yourself, or they having to justify yourself, you're always interacting with someone. Therefore, loneliness is gone. Great benefit. Great unintended benefit.
다 되네. 아니 간절로저 냠레지기나 다 서베 냠네 기계 약셔드래. 콘돌라니들 소공으로 메죠. 콘돌말라니 세워고야 요머로. 기계 약셔드래.
So, from a Buddhist practice point of view, that person is the ideal teacher of patience. It is they who really give you the chance to do something very difficult in the heat of moment, to remain patient. They give you the chance. Therefore, they are the teacher of tolerance and patience.
다드네 양야지 그러서나 다디 미디 칙두자라야 단 룽아 저버 체라서나 심 기부요 말에 표절로 둥해요 둥해여서 아지 다디 둥해 코란이나 모이나 코이나 모이나 둥해여서 다 담만도 계제 둥자 셰고요레 담만도 체고요 인자 안데 아지 될 둥해도 다 둥해데 테러지나선 제와 지게위나 디 지대와디 수수줄이야 제와 닝지 계기도 디술라데네 계서 미딜라데네 계서.
So when you're arguing with them, and they arguing with you, they shout at you. The appearance is hideous, and they shout at you. So when they shout, when they argue, do they shout with the joy, with happiness in the heart? No, they are undergoing great deal of distress. And when you find somebody, a same human being, in this distress, feeling miserable, trying to justify and not succeed well, and losing temper even more, doesn't your heart go to them? And in a way, you gradually, as a thinking person, you will open your heart and see that they are in distress, and the sapling of empathy will grow in the heart. And if you reflect more on this, and you will develop genuine understanding, sense of humanity, and you'll develop patience, and not only patience, affection for that person. Affection is an uplifting spiritual quality, and that was developed because of the person who you couldn't stand.
어다 탑람 뒤에 따네 양절 미딜라 삼로직 따한테다 참바 아지 디 대화되노 찜디 대화다 대로지나 디 동에다 대로지나 선배 삼바지 끼마도 마세 셈나 마가 레기도 나와
네.
아 양자다 삼로디 땅지와 말당에 탑람 신다 직시에 오스로
So try this a few times, so sometime, and still you haven't you notice that you haven't succeeded, such that you can't arouse a feeling wishing them genuine happiness and wishing them freedom from distress. You find it difficult to have such a positive frame of mind towards the person you can't stand. Now don't slog on. I'll give you a new method.
다디들 레라고 벨레라고 답대 그랬어
And a new method, easy.
다 미디 딩에 미디 저 참바단 제외 미유이 참바드 제외 미유이 팅마숨 랍 디샤
And that's easy. All that you have to say is the person is my object of love and compassion. The person is my object of my compassion, love and compassion. Object of my love and compassion. Say that to yourself 3 times, then stop.
어야 다디 다리 든다디나 다 곰자의 신소 로
No.
다 굴론체 비딩 exercise 디 basic 다 미카시 사와도와
No.
먼저 디 시드윤의 제고요를 뭐 굴론체 비딩 exercise 비딩 meditation 디 제고요라 디 간라 니 디링기 잠보 고미야 될라 니 줌젠 숨다 탑람직 검성하다
No.
디제디 니 곰잡 도세 직 둔다 잡다 아니 미직 미니 미숨 두스 칼레 아니 수수 양양 미드자 수수 심나라야 직 마데와 메워지 소고를 당보들어
No.
계좀 뭐 쉬어래도 수수 심나 수수 코유금이 산산을 미가시 저게 면은 직 전혀 말어보다 계속 신이 말어보던데 용구도
No.
딘데 릴라 삼로디 만스 단제 제일 간다 심디 메워 소고를 다간다 딘데 소돔나 아니 야고요라
So normally when we come together, we set out motivation, joy, determination, and then do breathing exercise, breathing meditation, and which we repeated today as well. On top of that, I had you to practice right mindfulness, particularly with a focus on arousing love for all, and then doing the training in relation to a person who you can't stand normally. So then, if you do this, okay, if you do this, practice, employing 3 reasons, and as well as the last easy method of reciting this mantra of they are object of my love and compassion. So in this way, if you do it time and again in relation to someone, you will see your heart becomes more accommodating of other people, and particularly this person. And the aim of this is to be able to do a targeted practice with regard to somebody who you naturally find hard but succeeds. When you succeed when in relation to this person, then it will be easier to extend this to a wider circle of people. so much so that you won't feel you won't feel awkward or uneasy meeting people and having interaction with them.
다 좋아요, 좋아.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah.
I had a question. At the beginning, you were talking about mindful, no, right speech, and how we definitely want to, have harmony with our speech.
Yeah.
But sometimes, I guess, in society, there's a need also to speak up about something, and then maybe because of it, some harmony will be broken.
Oh yeah.
Like sometimes, the kind of harmony is actually not really harmony.
Yeah.
So what does Krishna say to that?
Deji kwang ke shila yang da ba nga sun sun sarwa yang da ba nga sun de kan ani mela khondom ma la nges ani si temba ngene den ani mela khondom ma la to ma la ani tumbu yong nge never mai ji yang da ba nga sig du sarwa ani society na la ani kap kala ani chi ki chi so na la ani chi ki ke ji ta ga she ko se jo ra
어래.
gadget taga ship was it the taga shabe the mill porto boys and the young type of not the gadu do so in the cup so and it gansin 지소는 harmony 지 튼두 예버디 that 카세 튼둥인 중인을 비치 못하래 매버자라 풀을 튼이 매버 푸 튼두게 중이 나와 잠은 안디 나와디 딜이 이체와 말이 대전 딱지 딱지 이제는 양 때문에 나도 매가 근데 그래서
인지 직 주어도 직 양자 제는 건서 온라인이니로 인지 양자 직송도 주어도.
So the question was how do we use right speech in a way that you use it to talk. What did you say? To talk up.
Well, to speak up.
Yeah. To speak up.
And even so, it might create disharmony.
Okay.
For the right reason.
There are times when you have to speak up in the face of a seeming harmony, so that when you speak up, although it may upset feelings of others, but it is good for the greater harmony. So how can you reconcile speaking up in relation to the right speech of being pleasant all the time? Is it?
Well, sometimes one can't be pleasant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes one needs to speak up.
Yeah.
Short-term disharmony maybe for greater good.
So when you speak up, there may be short-term disharmony, but it will bring about long-term harmony. No.
어래. 대다대로 지단 양답에 나라야디 꿀롱 차네 라고요들레 아니 직주부 라고야 된데라 펜도여나 꿀롱게 펜신 직군내라네 직주부 랍샤베나 카두델라다 너그러와 카두델라 그런 너그레들레 풀라 팽기로
나래.
디 디고다 디 디고 디 지고고요레 디 등산 먼저 지저 디 지게요 말에 수수 소용야지도 아 상마 야고레 랍제 아니 다 강의 상마 단다 풍야데 직 유진직 대로
I think you should speak up if it brings about long-term harmony of the society, of the community, although it may be unpleasant temporarily for the people, unpleasant temporarily for the people, and so that's called tough love. That's called tough love, and therefore your motivation to speak up is to bring about social harmony, cohesion for the long term, and therefore you have to speak up, and it will bring change. I find people try to avoid issues and say, "Oh, everything is nice, well done, good." And when you see there are faults, and then people are not able to see people are not able to see the weaknesses or whatever, and then they carry on. And when you follow a wrong approach, it will bring unpleasant outcomes.
Pejo nyingende mi samtang tumni jida jik samshi chidumni jina anzo geja tik zubu jik thone pejo la pendo yonga jik di kyona kyon di du di argumento tinde chik du labi jina ane ko samtang shinyi jina kondu sagu marwa koso nungo ne jina korang pendo goro bena ngala cha shawi na ngay bawa ge chunju gala nga di de shugu yore wa kondu che sagu munda nga 그래서 나 빠에 나 야구 영향 치디 계제 저담 단계 요래 때때 쉬고 요래 디제니 액션이 날 누구라 쉬는 나스 단계라 누구 요라 이나 심당네 컨디션 기금도 세상 애들 삼단 거다 그 등상 아도 미망부터 오라 사실 파말로 로망고 컨디션 줘 보거든요 도와 간데슬리 나라 디춘레 마서 나 빠와 식두자라고도 쉬고도 이나 나 컨디션 레이면 애 빠올 째레 마서 미디도 가시 망에마 아메 직직제서 나 빠베 직직제서 로주 뉴시 숨주던데 싱기 된jo던데 톡도 어디 얌팅도 어디 칸에 용이나 어디 칸데 차기나 로앙알데 레그면도 지네 언제 직보라 언제 미직보라라
So when you speak up to a person, to a thinking person, to a just person, and they will understand, and they will say, why is she speaking to me like that? And they will see that you meant good, and therefore they will become more reflective, and out of reflection they will change what needs to be changed, and so it's good for them, and they will take your criticism positively and then change accordingly. For instance, to use myself as an example, Geshe-la says, when I was young, I've many occasions my father, verbally scolded me and gave me light corporal punishment, but never. I felt the pain. I felt the pain of the scold, but never for one moment I had anger towards him. Never, because I knew, why would somebody who loves me so dearly act and speak like that? Then in my heart of heart, I was absolutely sure he was doing it for my good. And then all my life, I've never had one moment of anger towards my father, who was, as said before, who could scold me, and this could be called verbal abuse these days, and then punish me, physical, this is a taboo these days. So when I meet people today, especially some people who hold resentment towards their parents, and their dislike for their parents so strong, there's a bitterness to their father or to their mother. So I have difficulty understanding how did it come to that.
다들 건다 저런서 뒤윤에 저거로 다 쇼베 공는 가서 겹사를 님더라. 아니 랑종 든다디 랑종다 세부차송아. 건다 많이 얘가라고 될도고 아니 아들이 수술내가 논리로 때때 양생한테 상담한테 계정물에라. 수술내가 논리로 채너 디링디 채서 디리 마선 사면 죄샤체. 당아 산인내 내가 양자 지금에서 양자 켈렌체. 니마직 수수수 장마소듬나 야고요라. 안수수 곰자 밀 펜도체 레체나 어다 디링아 곰자이 마랑 파마단 분자단 도가 도보도 졸 펜도 중선 미직래가 디디 야고 중선은 두세야 가와곰 아니 산이 딜레 망아치기 삼제 담자자 독스는 권단 야갈라고들 까마숨 싱아지 상로든 데스탄도 이나 아니 니마지게 그 곰 그냥 낸도다한테 두스직 로제다 베직 로지 두스 로데게 데이터 캐좀 쇼레스라.
So now we need to stop shortly, and for the week, the homework is to do this meditation in a meditation with the 3 reasons and 1 quick, short and sharp method of reciting some statements. So and then do it time and again, and then everything that we do will impact in terms of living a sense of a degree of ease to do it easily next time. So this is how with the familiarity you benefit from practice. So when you do this, if you find, okay, another thing what I like to do is when you go to bed, just before you go to bed, review that day. And if you find that things haven't gone too well because you lost your cool, your temper, and then you hurt some people's feelings and so on, then have sense of remorse and see kind of a sense of remorse, and then resolve that from next day onward you will be more circumspect in what you say, what you do in relation to others. And so at the end of review, when you see that you have had a positive day whereby you have managed to do a lot of good to many people and so on, then feel joyous and resolve to continue to do so in the coming days and weeks.
Okay, now we stop here. Thank you. Thank you so much.